going to be showing you how to crochet one of these cute little turtles with a flower shell. This pattern is by Passionate Crafter. It's not one of my own patterns, but I loved it so much I thought I would share it with you as it is a free pattern. I'm going to have the written pattern in the description, and any materials that I used are also going to be down in there. So if you do make one, please tag me and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all the places. You're going to need a hook. This is a 4.5mm hook, some scissors, needle. You also need a stitch marker, some safety eyes. These are 16mm glittery safety eyes, but you can just sew them on or use buttons, whatever you want. And you're also going to need 3 yarn colours, and you will need some stuffing. So you're going to start off with the green, and we're going to start off making the fins. So we'll do a magic ring with 6 single crochets in it. So for round 2, we're going to do an increase in every stitch. So that's our first single crochet, and we're going to stick our stitch marker into that first single crochet. Do another one in that same stitch, and that's your first increase, and we're going to increase all the way around. Then for round 3, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase all the way around. So that was 1 single crochet. Put our stitch marker back on, and then an increase in the next stitch. Then a single crochet and then an increase. And we're just going to do that same routine all the way around. And you should have 18 stitches at the end of it. So that's round 3 finished. Then in round 4, we're going to just single crochet all the way around. Put our stitch marker back in, and 18 single crochets all the way around. So it should be looking like this now. You want to make sure you've pulled that magic ring nice and tight. So then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. I'm going to stick that end from the magic ring in. And we're going to single crochet through both sides. So we're going to find our first single crochet and then go back through the other side like this. And yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then we're just going to continue to do that until we get to the end of the round. And then we go through the last one. And then you just cut off. We don't need to leave a long end because we're not sewing. So here's how your fin should look. You're going to repeat this 3 more times, and you're going to have 4 at the end of it. So here's what you should have. They should all look exactly the same. And now we're going to do the head. So now we're going to start the head. We're going to get our green, and we're going to do a magic ring with 8 single crochets in it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to do an increase in every stitch around. So we're going to do our first stitch, put that stitch marker back in, do another stitch in the same place, and then we're going to increase in every stitch around. Oops, 14. So altogether you should have 16 stitches. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet, put our stitch marker back in, and then we're going to do an increase, and then we're going to do single crochet increase all the way around in that same pattern. There you go. Then we're going to single crochet all the way around. In that previous round you should have 24 stitches. Now we're going to do 24 single crochets all the way around for round 4. And we're going to do single crochets for the next 5 rounds. From round 5 to round 9 we're going to do single crochets. This is round 5. And just single crochet all the way around again. Round 6. And I'm just going to flip it on the right side now. Round 7. Round 8. And the last round, round 9. And here's how it should be looking. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets. So I did 1, I'm going to put my stitch marker in. This is round 10 by the way. Do a second single crochet, and then we're going to decrease. And you're going to do that 6 times over. So that was 1. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then for round 11 we're going to do 1 single crochet decrease, and we're going to do that 6 times as well. Put our stitch marker back on. So that was 1 single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, and at the end of this round you should have 9 stitches. Oops. Then we're going to get our eyes and we're going to insert them after round 7. So we're going to find round 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to put the eyes in round 7. It doesn't really matter where, just you want it to be on the sides of the head. So you can put it any distance apart and it doesn't really matter too much. So that looks good to me. The eyes look pretty even and it's on the sides of the head. And I just like to check that I've put it in the same row. But yeah, so I'm happy with how that looks. And I'm just gonna close off the other one. Then I'm gonna get some stuffing and we can take this off now as well. And we're just gonna stuff the head. Oops. So here's how it should look. So you are going to leave a bit of a tail and just fasten that off. Then we're going to put the head to the side and now we're going to get our pink and start on the body. So we're going to do a magic ring. I'm going to do 8 half double crochets into this magic ring. So 8 half double crochets into the magic ring. And there we have 8 half double crochets. Close off the magic ring. So with this pattern, up until round 6, we're going to be working in the 3rd loop of the half double crochet. So if you don't know what that is, let me show you. Regularly you would go through these loops here, which would be your regular single crochet, half double crochet, doesn't matter. But the 3rd loop is this piece at the back. It almost looks like you're going into a back loop here. So this section here is where the regular 2 loops that you would go through are, and if you can see these loops here, that is the 3rd loop of a half double crochet. So we're going to do a half double crochet into this 3rd loop. So we go and find it. So that we do a half double crochet, put our stitch marker in, and we're going to go back into that same stitch as is a half double crochet increase in every stitch around for this round. So then we find our next one. As you can see, it's this loop here, and we do an increase in that one too. I'm going to do this all the way around in that 3rd loop. And you will start to see it create this spiral pattern, which is exactly what you want. So as you can see, it should start to look a bit like a spiral. Then for round 3, we're going to do a half double crochet and then a half double crochet increase all the way around. So we're going to find that 3rd loop and do a half double crochet into that 3rd loop. Put our stitch marker in. And then we're going to do an increase in the next one. So increase, and then a regular half double crochet, and then an increase, a regular, and then an increase. And that spiral should be continuing as you go. And it is much easier to find that third loop after the first 2 rounds. So here's how it should look. Then we're going to do the same thing again, and it's going to be 2 half double crochets and then an increase. So that was 1. I'm going to do our second one, and then we increase, all with half double crochets. Here's how it should be looking. And then we're going to do 3 half double crochets and then an increase. So I've done 1, put our stitch marker in. This is 2, this is 3, and then we increase. And you're going to do that same thing all the way around. So 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, 3 half double crochets, and then a half double crochet increase until you get to the end of the round. And there we go. I'm going to fasten this off, but you're going to leave a tail because we're going to attach another colour later. So you want to leave that loop hanging. Then we can take this off. Then we're going to get that same piece of pink yarn and we're going to start making the petals on the shell. So in this first stitch here, we're just going to insert our hook and pull up a loop. Then we're going to do a chain. Then we're going to do a single crochet in that same stitch. Then a half double crochet in that same stitch. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next stitch. So that is 1, that's 2, and that is 3. And here's how it should be looking. You should see like a little flap forming. Then in the next stitch you're going to do a half double crochet, and then in the next stitch you're going to do a slip stitch, and that is your first petal done. So then we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. We're going to do a half double crochet in that next stitch, and then 3 double crochets in the next stitch. So that's 1, 2 and 3. I find it's easier where you pinch it like this because the actual stitches kind of pop out, so it's easier to find them. Then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch, a slip stitch, and then we're going to repeat this single crochet, half double crochet, 3 double crochets in one stitch, and then half double crochet, slip stitch, and then you're going to keep doing it over and over again all the way until we get to the end. So we're going to keep going around. So we're going to do our next half double, double, and you're going to do the same routine until you have 2 stitches left at the end. My camera just cut out, but I'm not too sure how much footage I actually lost, but I've just finished, well, almost finished the petals. I'm on the last bit, and we're going to continue the same pattern up until we get to the 3rd to last stitch. So I'm at where I'm doing a double crochet, so you should have 2 stitches left, and we're going to do a half double crochet in the 2nd to last stitch, and in that same stitch you're going to do a double crochet, and then in the final one you're going to do a double crochet and then slip stitch in that same one. Then we can fasten this off, pull that through, and you see this piece here, I am just going to pull it through to the bottom, and I will just tie it off like this with the string from the magic ring, and it just keeps them both fastened off. So here's how your flower should look, nice and pretty. So in that loop we left, we're going to insert our hook, and we're going to, you see all these stitches, we're going to do a single crochet, but we're going to change color to the light pink. So this is going to be our first single crochet where I change color. I'm going to attach a stitch marker in that first stitch, and we are going to single crochet all the way around, and you should clearly be able to see all of these loops that we need to go through. And it's really important that this round has 40 stitches. So if you've miscount, it's really important that this round has, it's really important that this round has 40 stitches. So if you've messed up your count a bit, add a few more stitches or get rid of some if that's what you need to do. What I just said is not the best advice, and it doesn't work for all patterns, but for this pattern a lot of your mistakes are hidden, so if you have messed up the stitch count a little bit, you can fix it here. So here's how it should look, and the bottom should look like this. So you want to just go around and count and double check that you have got 40 stitches. So now we're going to start, I've just removed this, and we're going to start to join on our fins with this piece. I'm just going to put it through and have it come out of the bottom. And then I'm going to secure it with this piece where we attach the new colour to make sure nothing comes out. So what we're going to do is 5 single crochets. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to get a fin. On the actual pattern, it recommends to attach them up the top here and have this hanging out, but I would recommend you actually do it the other way around, so you have less weaving in to the other end. So you're going to go to the second single crochet on your fin, insert the hook there, and then you're going to join it with a single crochet through both sides. I'm going to do this with 2 single crochets. So we're going to go into that last stitch there through the body. I like to put the yarn that's on the end in and then crochet over it, because that way we don't have to sew so much at the end. And there we go, that's the first piece attached. I'm going to do 4 single crochets, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get the next one and do the exact same thing. We go through the second stitch from the top, go through both sides, then go into the last stitch, go through both sides, and make sure that green is over there. Pull it nice and tight, and make sure you pull that nice and tight as well. And then we're going to do 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to get the head. We're going to fold the head flat like this and then attach it on there. So remember, wherever your eyes are, your turtle's actually going to be this way. It's not going to be, so I like the eyes to be a little bit higher. So what we're going to do, we're going to fold it flat and make sure the eyes are even on each side. And we're going to go through both sides like this. It's going to feel a bit awkward, and then you're going to go through the next stitch like we just did before with the fins, and go through all 3 layers and do a single crochet. So that's 1, and we're going to attach this across by 4 single crochets. So we're going to find our next stitch, go through to the other side, into the next stitch. So that's 2. Find the next one. That's 3. And then go through the last one. Oops. And that there is 4. And now your head is attached. Then we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to get our third fin. This one we're going to attach slightly different. Again, we're going to leave the end piece on the inside, but this time we're going to start from the top stitch, and we're going to join with 2. So that was 1, and then we go to the second stitch, 2. I'm going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to join the final fin in that top stitch, and we're going to join with 2 single crochets. So that's 1, and that's 2. Put everything nice and tight. I like to tie these little ends, not too tight, but just so nothing slips out. Like, even if anything comes loose, it literally cannot fall out. Not that it would, because it's actually crocheted in, but just for safe measures, I always like to tie everything off. And then for the final bit, we're going to do 7 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So here's how it should look. And we are not going to cut this off. This is here for a reason. I'm not going to cut this piece off. I'm actually going to use this to make sure that the head stays up. So what I like to do is to go back through the head and come up just behind, right in the middle, just behind there. Because here's one that I've made, it's a bigger one, but when you don't do this, the head's quite floppy. So then you're going to go through this flower and come back out. And you're just going to do a few stitches just to make sure that head stays up. And go back through those same stitches. Make sure that head's nice and secure. Then you want to go back under. Make sure it's nice and secure, nice and tight. And from the inside, we're just going to make a little knot. Sorry, I was a bit out of camera there. And you just want to do a second knot. And it is super secure now. That head is not going anywhere. So now we're going to put our hook back in, and we're going to continue the body by just closing it off. So we're going to do 3 single crochets. So we'll do our single crochet, add our stitch marker back in, and we're just going to do 3 single crochet, decrease. So 1, 2, 3, decrease all the way around. 1, 2, 3, decrease. Then you're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease all the way around to close it off. And for round 11 we're going to do 1 decrease, so single crochet decrease, 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 single crochet decrease. So then we're going to get some stuffing and just stuff the body. We're going to do 9 decreases to close it off. So I've just done 1. This is 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to leave a little tail, fasten that off. If you're happy with the stuffing, if not, add a bit more in that hole. Then we're going to go in the front loops only with our needle. And then we're going to close that up. I always go through it a few times just to make sure it's definitely closed. And then I do a little knot like this, and then pull through a random stitch and then tap that off. Get rid of all of those little fluffies, and you should have a little flower turtle.